And you are welcome to the show that has become a producer's nightmare, but hey, they just keep coming back to produce it because we love it. My name is Mazino Appeal, and this is the Black Table. We have, well, sort of eventually gathered a following, especially of women in the North, and we're building that. It's going to be a cult very soon. Guys, I'm not alone today, but I'm one man short. We're going to talk about that. Let me first of all introduce to you, to my left, Mr. Jean-Luc Picard is in the house. He's not on another podcast today.
It's not. It's not.
He's not cheating on us. Good to have you here, man.
That's always a pleasure.
But your hair is taking a life of its own.
Yes, I'm embracing my Japanese side.
Ah, Ohio gozaimasu. Nice. And of course, to my right, everybody needs a deck in their lives. Of course, Mr. Deck is represented here with very good information for the poor.
Make sure you want the deck that has dollars with it.
Let the poor
breathe.
I bumped into Deck this evening, and only just this evening, Deck was on a call. He was talking to somebody who was telling him where he could get 30,000 naira for a pint of blood. So we know that poverty is.
I need to give some blood.
But please, it's like you have enough blood to give.
I need to give some blood, man.
Like you have like maybe 2 million naira worth.
I need to give some
2
blood.
million naira worth of blood.
Things cannot be that bad, but this is where we find ourselves these days. Whether we like it or not, people are actually doing these things because they need cash.
Yeah, true.
I find that I don't collect change anymore when I buy stuff from the hawkers because I'm thinking these guys need it more than I do. So hey, here, you can have the change.
You can give me the change.
In any case, welcome to another week for the Black Table. We have a very interesting topic today, stemming off of something that happened from over the week with Kunle Afolayan and his daughter. Apparently, many people thought that video was very uncommon, very unusual, very hard to watch. We'll talk about that, the implications, and things that have come off of it. Let's take a very short break. When we get back, we'll jump into the stories that we've got prepared for you guys today. We'll be back.
You always take the bill on the first date, second date, and third date. Bro code.
Today we discuss boundaries and extremes from that Kunle Afolayan instance, but we've got other topics that we want to talk about. First, I wanted to say that we're a man down. Of course, Mr. Gang couldn't make it because he didn't pay his. No, he paid his rent. I shouldn't do this to him. He actually tried to be here today, but the traffic situation coming out of the island onto the mainland lately has been mad intense, man.
Yeah, especially in the Victoria Island.
Yeah.
So you know what I've come to realize about the traffic situation is that stemming up from the visit of the president to Lagos.
That was yesterday.
From that to, of course, some other dignitaries came in as well. Some ministers came in with him as well. And don't forget that each and every one of these government officials come with their escorts and protocols and what have you. And also with the launch of the red line and all of that.
Especially because of that is why they were in town yesterday.
Yes. So, because of all of those things, traffic situation will be a little bit tight, just for this week. I'm sure that once they, move back to Abuja, things will ease out a little bit. Another thing is the Third Mainland Bridge. They have moved to the busy part. Now, so what a lot of people don't realize is that this side that they have moved to is actually the busy side. Now, I'll tell you why. So apparently this side is where, of course, that's like the main way to come to the mainland. Now, there are people who are, coming back.
You're talking about Fro.
Fro, yes. Yeah. So, people go to the airport, people, so people are moving in.
Going towards Yaba.
Exactly. So that's the reason why it's a bit tight, But I'm sure it will ease out soon enough.
Well, congratulations to Lagos State, by the way. The Red Rail
fantastic.
Took off yesterday.
Fantastic.
The president was there.
Beautiful.
And all. It was very nice. It looked like it was outside of Nigeria.
Personally, honestly, I was going to say that, the quality is actually fantastic. for for a first time in a long time, we actually have quality over quantity. Like the Lagos State government, I must give massive kudos to the leadership of the Lagos State government.
More
Babajide,
importantly, I think
Babajide
if
Sanwo-Olu.
Lagos is going to remain as the center of excellence and a proper metropolitan city.
Yeah.
Need these
All of
facilities.
this
Transportation is very key.
Yeah.
It's very key.
And this being the added advantage.
Yes.
Now, what people need to change is their mentality,
Yes.
their mindset. You honestly do not need to always drive all the time.
Yo,
When there are
hey,
alternatives.
slow down now.
Wait,
Because
because the only way it's going to be effective is if people start seeing it as an alternative means to move around.
I said
Oh,
slow down to
what
say
people
this.
use.
I said slow down
People
to
use
say
it.
this. How many trains do we have running? Let's take an example of the Blue Rail, which has been running from Mile 2 to
Yes.
is this CMS? It goes past CMS down to Marina. In any case, there's only one train.
It actually goes beyond Mile 2.
No. It starts from Mile 2. It ought to get up until
Yeah.
Okoko, but the facilities haven't yet been built.
Oh, okay.
So it starts at Mile 2, the Mile 2 station, and it goes terminates at just past CMS. And there are very many.
Have you gone
things.
on it before?
I haven't. I plan to take my family until we realize something. There's a certain level of racketeering that's going on even now with this new facility.
Really?
What happens? Yes, and it's very bad.
There
And
was
it's
one
ruining
particular
everything.
incident that
Are you serious?
It's ruining everything. This is what happens. They just let you into the train. But you're supposed to actually buy tickets. E-tickets are available and you can buy tickets
Right.
there. But instead, they're letting people in. And then after you're sat, they now come in and collect monies. This is not how it's supposed to. And once that happens, you know where the money is.
It's actually good you're saying this because I don't want to say that I'm related to somebody who is high up
Yeah,
there.
you already know.
I
You
know
said it.
someone.
You
You
said
already
it.
done said it.
You have said
you
it
know,
too.
but I mean, these people are working hard to
ensure
that
this
things
entire
go
thing,
as smoothly as
But
possible.
trust the
But
Lagosian.
you see, it's not just the Lagosian. It's just people in general who
which
literally
is
try
what
to
I'm saying about
sabotage.
people's mentality.
You know.
I was in this conversation with someone earlier in the week, and we were talking about how certain things that do not affect the dollar
Are
being
increasing in
increased.
price.
And when we really got down to
Things
the
that are not
details,
affected by the
we're
dollar.
like, okay, why is this getting expensive? If
You know
it's
what?
not something
You
that
know,
is
my
being
wife,
imported.
my wife went on shopping tonight, like this evening, and she came back. She told me how much. Babes, do you know how much eggs are going for right now?
Oh man.
Do you know how much
Yeah.
eggs? Eggs? No, a crate of egg.
A crate of egg used to be 3,000. It used to be 2,500.
You know how much it is now?
How much?
5,000 naira. Crate of eggs.
And that's part of what we're
So
talking
I was
about.
asking her that. I don't understand. The chickens, are they using fuel now?
Yeah.
Because I don't understand what's going on.
Well, when you look at it, the implication is that these poultry houses might need generators to run.
To run.
Yeah,
Generators, you need fuel.
however,
Fuel is
I've
expensive.
come to realize that when things want to go up in Nigeria, it goes up
Permanently.
And it
permanently,
doesn't come
one.
down.
Never
And
goes
secondly, there's really no calculation to the increase.
Yeah.
So this might be
Never makes
1,000
sense.
naira, but people want to sell it for 2,000.
So that's
But
where
it doesn't really add up.
So that's
in,
where
in, you know,
regulation needs to come in. The
very
government needs to
important.
regulate.
The person who's-
However, regulation will not be able to work if the government does not fulfill their part of the
Yeah.
bargain.
Definitely.
Now, it's important. Okay, so let me give you an example. I saw something over the week where the commissioner for agriculture was, fuming, talking to vendors who came into the platform where they sell farm produce.
Yeah.
All right, and I think they had an agreement or something like that where they needed to sell things at a particular price. All right, but unfortunately, these guys come into the platform and start to inflate the price.
Exactly.
And then she's like, how can we give you a platform? We have done this for you, and
this is
yet
what you're
this is
doing.
what you do.
Exactly.
All right. So at the end of the day, we are the ones actually doing ourselves.
Yes,
Very
and that's
That's
where
the thing.
the mentality thing
That's the
still,
thing.
because I think it's high time that majority of Nigerians start taking responsibilities for certain things. Yes, we know that there's a challenge. Yes, we know that these things will take time to fix. However, there are certain areas that we as Nigerians
I'll let you
can
come
make
back
a
to that,
U-turn
Olivia.
and
I agree.
take a stand.
Let me let you come back to that. At least we got started with the show. Let's take a very short break, and then we'll address some of the more juicier topics when we get back.
You always take the bill on the first date, second date, and third date. bro code.
Welcome back from that very short break. It's still the Black Table here, Mazzino Deck, and of course, Mr. Jean-Luc in the studio. We're missing Gang, unfortunately, couldn't be here today because of Lagos traffic. And the mayor of Agungi's convoy, they didn't let it through. In any case,
Make it.
let's talk about this thing. You guys seen this video of this couple in church on their very special day. They look so good, all clad in white, and then the gentleman in his suit and everything. It's a special day. Everybody's special day is your wedding day. However, the ceremony was suspended by the preacher, the pastor, who was supposed to wed them both. He said, nope, we're going to suspend this wedding. Guess why? Well, apparently, the lady, the bride, was present all by herself. No family member, nothing whatsoever. No one to give her out in marriage. And so the preacher was like, you know what, we're suspending this until somebody from your family comes up and says, I'm handing you over. First of all, I thought about it, and I'm like, the audacity. Why would a pastor just, ruin your best, what's supposed to be one of the best days in your life like that? But then when I read through the comment section, I started seeing some points that people were making, and I'm like, remember when you go to court to get married, and then they put up that thing?
You don't even need to go to court. For everything, for it to stand and be seen as something legal, there has to be witnesses.
Exactly.
There has to be people saying, okay, I stand for, or I attest to this. And I remember when I was getting married, I went through a series of documentation, so to say, just to ensure that, things are the way it should be. When I got married, my wife had lost a dad.
I'm so sorry.
I know why you chuckled now.
If I told you that I signed my document for my marriage 6 times, would you believe?
Why?
Yeah, because I went through the same thing.
Why?
6 times.
I went through the same thing.
Not 2 times. Like, we signed the first time. I said, no, you're not supposed to sign in this place. You have to sign here.
Why
this
though?
guy
Why?
have to sign
Oh
here.
dear,
No joke.
Jesus.
6 times. We had like 6 slips.
Yes.
No joke. Like, they're so
Why were you
serious. with that
dyslexic
stuff.
or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
And you got to a point where at the 4th time I told my wife, I said, are you sure
Are
we
you
are
sure
meant
you
to
signed?
marry? Are you sure?
Because everything has to be done right
correctly,
way.
exactly.
And so when I saw the video, at first I looked at it. I tried to look at it from the point of the officiating pastor, and I totally get where it's coming from.
Yeah.
If there were prior information to the officiating pastor that, okay, you know what,
We're coming
is
without
a situation.
people. That's a different
This
thing
lady
entirely.
doesn't have a family member or whatever.
So
yeah.
I see what everybody's saying. Everybody's like, yeah, it's the proper way to do things. You have to have a witness. Or at least this is the ceremony.
Yeah.
There has to be someone giving you out in marriage.
Yeah.
Did he not know before that day that this
Well,
issue
the pastor
persisted?
said he wasn't informed.
He wasn't informed.
Yeah, he said it. He
Isn't
said
isn't
it.
this part of what you... Okay, so on your wedding day, you bring somebody from your family. Didn't they go through all
So
of
that's
that?
the
You're
thing, and that's why it
instructed.
was a bit
So
embarrassing.
that's
for-
what I'm
for
totally against. That's what I'm
remember,
totally against.
in that video, 3-4 people tried to come out
Yeah.
to represent
Yeah.
the bride, and he kept identifying them as, no, you are from the
so and so.
from the groom's family.
So-
you are this, you are that. No, I know you
This is
from.
the funny thing.
Yeah.
If he's identifying these people from inside of the congregation, that means he knows these people. These people actually know this lady. And there was also a comment that stated that, now not confirmed, that the lady's mother is actually a member of the church. Where is her mother?
So that's the
Why did
thing.
that- So if the pastor,
So
I'm
a
sure the
lot of
pastor
times
knows all
when
of
these things
things.
happen, it's almost like, okay, is there consent to this marriage? Because if there's been a prior agreement, why isn't her mother there? Okay, yes, most times they say if the father or a male figure should give out the bride. But if there's no father there,
course
the
the
mother
mother
can
then, yeah.
select somebody and say, okay,
Yeah.
you know what,
Represent
this person
the
is
family.
representing the family, and this person stands on behalf of
This person,
this
yeah.
person.
Yeah.
So that didn't happen.
Yeah, so I mean, I totally agree with what you have said. But, I like to look at things from different angles, all right? When we look at it this way, we also need to look at it from the other perspective.
Which
Now,
might be?
Which I would start from the fact that I believe that pastor had prior knowledge of the fact that that wedding shouldn't hold.
Yeah.
Oh, you think so?
I believe
and I'll
so
tell you,
as well.
I'll tell you why. The fact says that the mother of the bride is a member of the church.
Works in
Yeah.
the church, yeah.
All right? What exactly is the reason why that woman is not there?
Why is she
Don't
not
forget
with the wedding?
that we have
Yeah.
couples who would like to do stuff in spite
In their
of whatever
way,
it is
yeah.
that anybody says.
Yeah.
I want to marry this person. I believe I can marry them because I want to,
Yes, exactly.
regardless of whatever anybody thinks. Now, pastors are spiritual people. They're believed to be spiritual people, and they're also morally inclined.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Now, spiritually, the pastor doesn't have a business stopping the marriage.
Yeah.
All right. Morally, the pastor would look at it from the perspective of parents must be present at the wedding, or representatives
Representatives, yeah.
in the case of, deceased, parents or what
Yeah.
have you.
Yeah.
So if the pastor says, I will not bless this marriage unless you have your parents here, I want to believe that maybe the mother of the bride had called the pastor to tell the pastor, please do not go ahead with this marriage.
I think
because
that was what happened.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
Well, let's look at the
definitely.
implications here, especially financially in this in this climb. You have prepared everything down till this day. You've got a reception paid for, food and drinks and guests and everything. You put all this together. Does it take one man? Should one man actually have all that power and just ruin your entire day, even if they have the right to? Is my point.
I think the intended couple now didn't do their own homework.
I was
They
about to
didn't do their
say
own
to you.
homework. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was
Yeah.
just about to say to you that I think I would blame the intending couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if they had done their homework, if they had done the right things, all of the things that they needed to do, I don't think this would have happened.
Exactly.
I don't think
Exactly. So if
I don't
before
think so.
coming out in front of the church, the altar, to do all of that, that could have been addressed.
Absolutely.
And the pastor could have just said
Absolutely.
straight to them that, okay, you know what?
Absolutely.
I'm not going to officiate this if I don't have this. And then they can choose to move their wedding elsewhere.
To another
Absolutely.
place
You
and
see,
just
you
do it
see,
in court.
another thing
or
is
something.
this, right?
Yeah.
Must you do your wedding in church?
Good question. So which is the most legally binding? Is actually what you do in court.
Yeah.
Is it?
Everything else,
Yeah.
everything
Hold
else
on.
is just
So
formality.
church is actually.
It's not as legal. It's not legal at all. That's just a
Yeah.
tradition which
Well,
you
wait,
borrow.
It depends on some
on the
churches.
church.
You-
Depends
so
on
there
some
are,
churches.
there are,
Let-
there are
let me explain.
registered churches
Churches
that
that
actually have
Exactly.
the
Yes.
registry.
True.
Yes,
Unless
that
it
you
is
don't
that
have to go to
kind.
court for it.
Yes, you don't have to
Unless
go
it is
to
that
court.
kind of a church, then
Yeah.
everything you're doing in church is actually just for formality, just for witnesses, just for people to say they
And
got
so have
married.
it blessed in the eyes of the
Because,
once
Lord.
you
and
get
all.
because the
married
church
in
that I
court-
got married in, that's one of the reasons why I don't wear rings, because we're not blessed with rings. In
Mm.
fact, we did not use ring in the church.
If only they know, they'll put this ring on you.
Hold him down.
They put it on all his fingers.
Wedding band.
No, because we didn't. Because I was surprised, because I was like, this diamond I buy for you, no go put that. But then they didn't. In fact, we didn't even talk about rings at all. There was
Imagine.
nothing like ring the ring, nothing like that.
I
at
wish
all
we
in
could go into
church.
that conversation and
No,
talk
no
about
jokes.
the relevance of rings.
Nothing. There was no.
'Cause-
In fact, we had to run after the pastor when we finished the ceremony.
say, "Oh, God,
to say,
do
"Sir,
you
please
think,
help us pray on the ring." So he prayed on the ring, and then we just slipped it on, just so that we can show our friends and take pictures with it and everything.
Yeah.
But we're not blessed with rings. We're blessed with the Bible.
So you have an excuse to not wear a ring. Did you ever have a time when you didn't wear? I once wasn't. I never used to wear the ring. Did you have a
been
time? And
married
how did your
for-
wife
I've
feel
been
about
married
that?
for 11 years and I have my head on my shoulder. That's because of my ring. So women tend to.
Your ring is
most-
always on.
It's always on.
So you have been wearing this for 11 years.
I've been wearing it for more than 11 years.
No.
Okay, so it's
nice.
because it's a gold ring now.
It's
Me,
not
I
because
did not
it's
have
good,
original
Joe.
gold. I did
Get
not
out
have-
of here,
Me,
man.
So I don't rich by then. I didn't have one.
No, that's not the reason. So I think I'm a bit old school and and a traditionalist in that regards. And even though I have nothing against,
You're conservative in that.
no, I feel that the wedding band is just a way to identify your status.
Okay.
That's how I see it. I don't
My
really
brother-
see the
my
major
brother, let me
significance.
I put it
Yeah.
to you. Olamide, I put
Hey,
it
I'm
to
in
you.
trouble. He's putting it to
You
me.
people you are the most useless people. that made this ring. Useless people. There's nothing can tell me.
Wait. I don't think. Let me just finish.
Yeah, let him finish. Let him finish.
Yeah. I do
so
not
he can
think.
get
I
back
do not
home.
think the ring, wearing a ring or not wearing a ring, gives credit to
Whether you're married
whether
or
you're
not.
married or not. I don't think so. I'm just saying it's a way of identifying
Who's married and who's not.
if who's married or not married, and that's the only
So
way I
my
see
story,
it.
and real quick, so we can
That's
move
the
to
way
the
I
other
say it.
topic. I got married at 33, and I erroneously thought that because of the job I do, that I'll look less. What's the word?
appealing.
less appealing without the ring. I mean, with the ring. So first few years of my marriage, it was a struggle between I and my wife because she wanted me to identify as married always.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't need this, so I wouldn't wear it. Jennifer, if only you knew. you might want to take this ring off of it because this actually attracts more women, quite frankly.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
But
it does
we,
actually.
we've settled that, but right now I actually can't do without it. I fidget with it all the time, especially.
I've never gone out.
I can't go
Really?
without.
I've never gone.
So-
in fact,
so
so
let me
when
tell you
I wake up
when
in
I'm
the
not wearing
morning,
it.
So let me
Yeah.
tell you something.
I slip it on.
So there's something
Oh, you
interesting
take
that
it
happened.
off?
You know,
I do
there's-
take it
there's-
off.
There's actually
Ah.
something interesting that happened to me before I got married, right? Because of the kind of work that I do, I meet,
make it
I
quick
meet,
'cause
I
we
meet,
have-
I meet women all the time, all right? So I used
Got
to
a
wear
smile
rings.
on his face. I
I, no, I'm telling you, I used to wear rings all the time. Matter of fact, people thought I was married
Yeah.
before I got
before you were married, okay.
because I was
Okay.
always wearing my rings, and I was always wearing it here.
Let's talk about
you
something
know.
a bit more mundane.
So
yeah?
you know,
All right.
it's just interesting.
Let's talk about something a bit more mundane. So,
Okay.
Nigeria is what it is, of course. You know, we can't do without our own power supply, and that's the generators and everything. This entry here on Instagram says, my neighbor's wife insisted all generators should be off by 11 p.m. We refused, and the landlord had to get involved and said, by 11 p.m., no gen must be on. That was the rule that was enforced. 15 months later, this woman gave birth and wants to run gen all night because of the baby. Omo, we all refused though.
They played my fans.
He paid you, oh my God. I put up everybody's gen at 12 o'clock, says this person. The gen house is even very close to my apartment, so I know they agree. So, how much sleep have you had in the past couple of weeks because of this whole noise pollution and all? I run the generator every evening. But I have a certain standard. I always put it up by 11 or midnight, and I do not like inconveniencing people
So,
because I hate the sound
I'm
myself.
very guilty for
Running it all night.
for many years. I'm the kind of person that will run it whenever I can run it. And fortunately for me, where I live, there's a generator section that is far away from
The main house.
you're lucky.
main houses.
Okay.
You're
So
lucky.
for that, I've never really had that issue before. But I remember during, I think 2-3 years ago, I think during the COVID situation thing, there were a couple of robberies happening. And then they put out this memo in the
that everyone should
saying
switch
that
off
everyone
the-
should
so
turn
that
off
they
their
can
gen.
hear.
And me, I'm like, wait,
I
that's not
can't
the
live without it.
solution. You know, it's not like I can't live without it. I can, but when you have kids home and they're used to certain things, I mean, we'll just stand up and be doing night vigil together. But
So-
I do understand that it can be a bit of an inconvenience because with all the noises coming from the different generator sets, many things can happen.
Yeah.
I eventually compromised. Then I had to compromise, but after I think about 2-3 months, I went back to using it
Hey,
to
nobody's going to fault you because
Yeah.
especially currently the weather's been really bad.
Oh,
So,
it's pretty
We're
awful.
very hot.
but here's a solution. What you need are the tiny gens for during the day. Or maybe even if you want to leave it on all night because they make less noise. So, which is a solution that I used to use from before. It works, you know. But however, in this story, I just feel bad for the baby. Because
You guys don't want me to talk about lights, you know. So
No,
You
we want
live
to
you
talk
live in
about
an estate that always has power
I'm
now,
not-
don't you?
No, but I'm going to be honest with you guys, right? So even yes, okay. So we have light, yeah, I know. But they usually shed the light around the evening period where we'll be without light for like maybe a
Couple of good hours.
like maybe an hour ish.
You are not in Nigeria.
I'm telling you,
He's
man.
not in Nigeria now. Who is this
This
person?
guy boasting like how we.
I said, who is this? Who is this somebody?
What are these guys talking about? Generators? What is a
What
generator?
is a generator?
No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, it's affecting everybody.
Okay.
All right. But I think the problem that we have constantly is the fact that yes, because we do have light, but we don't have high voltage. We have very low voltage. So
Okay.
it's almost as though
So it's not existing.
Yeah.
we don't have light. But yes, the light we can see with it and do stuff with it. But I can't use my AC. I
Which
can't
way,
use,
Nigeria?
stuff. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I mean.
Which is very
I
funny, I mean, because
understand I understand where you're coming from. Because there was a time where so I currently have a neighbor in front of my house who runs generators, whether or not there is light or not. In the case of low voltage,
He must be a
he
Yahoo
switch-
boy.
He was My brother, I have thought this. I thought about it that this
He
guy.
needs that
he be like
constant
saying,
power.
What do you do for a
you know,
living?
I don't even.
Yeah.
What do you do? What do you do for a
Why are you
living?
at home every
You
single
know,
day?
but the thing is, this guy would turn on the generator when they bring the light. This guy is still running gen. I'm like, dude, what's going on? Switch
he
off this
single?
gen now. He has
Is
a
there a
family.
conveyor? Oh, they
he
have
has a
a-
family.
okay.
You know, he has a wife and I think 2 children or something like that. A dog. You know.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, part of the family.
Poor dog.
In line with this, yeah. Abia State's got what 4 days of constant power now.
Yeah.
No, we need to give it to them. Come on, give it to them. Come
Give
on,
it to them, yeah. Abia State is
well
one
done.
of the season.
Well
I
done.
wasn't going to wait for 4 days because I remember time in this country whereby there was constant electricity.
Now that was first back in the 80s. Now.
Who's talking about first?
Wait, let me get it
I'm
straight.
talking about.
Was that a real thing?
Huh?
in this
We
country?
actually had 24
Of
hours
course.
light in this country.
How old are you? Yeah.
Really?
Well, I would say
yeah.
24 hours, but at least in a day you'd have
I remember.
at least 20 hours of
I
light.
remember when I got into secondary school.
Right.
That was the first time I started noticing power outages in Nigeria.
Did we
It
grow
was
up in the
weird.
same town? Are you sure? Because
Okay, I went to the same secondary school.
it's very, very strange, man.
Yeah, no, because it was then I started noticing, and it was very strange. It was weird because I'm like, okay, today there's
In this country.
in the same country,
Wow.
in the same country. So it's
I'm so
nothing.
sorry.
It's nothing impossible.
What can we say has declined power supply in this country?
Simple
what
answer.
has cost it?
Thank you for taking
The
my job.
maintenance? I'm sorry.
By the
I'm
way,
sorry,
no
I'm
problem.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Don't worry. I think I have an answer to that.
Oh, go on, let's hear it.
Bad policies.
Bad policies, huh?
Bad policies. You see,
Are we talking about Nigeria or Lagos now?
Nigeria.
we're talking about Nigeria as a
Nigeria
whole.
as a
Nigeria
whole,
generally,
yeah.
because
Bad
Lagos
policies.
has a different reason why it's the way it is.
Yeah, but bad policies, bad energy policies. You see, in this world, there's something that is very constant, change. And we have failed to evolve beyond,
Over time.
you know, what cavemen
Analog.
cavemen have been doing. You know, the demand for energy in Nigeria kept increasing over the years.
You have to ask yourself, why has there been that demand, especially in places like Lagos? Bad policies, it might, yes, you're correct.
Yeah.
But then again, we had, over the past 10 years, the influx of people into Lagos and the capacity that Lagos can
It's not
carry
just
alone
that, and that's
has
why
not been-
why the policies are very important. For instance, now when I lived abroad, you know,
You live in where they have
Wait,
constant light. I mean,
I'm
this
sorry.
man's
You
lived
lived
abroad.
You lived
sorry,
abroad.
Mama Bruno.
Please
So you lived
continue.
abroad?
Please
Okay,
continue.
sorry,
I didn't know you lived abroad.
let me
Are
not
you
talk about
serious?
it again.
Wow.
Before they come and cast me.
Let me please
But-
continue.
But my point is that, you see, when things are done the right way, like it's like trying to use data on your devices, your mobile devices, on your smart screen TVs or whatever.
Right.
You should have something fixed. This home, this person has maybe 2 TVs.
Yeah.
This person has, you know, a laptop or whatever. It's fixed, and you know your consumption of data during that period is fixed or regulated, or it has its peak. You understand? So it's not just going to go like, okay, today all my neighbors are coming from.
So it's prorated. You have a
Yes,
specific
so
amount
it's-
every single
so
time.
you know
what
you're
you're using.
generating for that particular period.
Oh, you're talking about generation now.
I'm not talking like policies too for
Okay.
power generation. For instance, now.
So apparently,
yeah,
so apparently that data would help you to understand what you need to give
provide
or
Yeah.
exactly,
provide. Yeah.
and where you need to know. Okay, you know what?
Now we need to expand.
Because you see, in this country, there are places that we know that are industrial.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
You understand?
Absolutely.
But now everything is just intertwined.
Here, there,
you go to
here,
residential neighborhoods, and then you find that there's this massive
Commercial,
industry
yeah.
there.
So I
that
was
they-
going to
you know,
touch
it
on that
makes
and
no-
say
no
this.
sense.
The reference I always make is to Amu Odofi, which a long stretch of it actually is industrial.
Industrial,
However,
yes.
it's now become residential. And then the residential areas, like I'll give you specific examples. 51 Road, or rather 51 Road in Festac used to
not-
be
it's not-
residential.
it's not-
But lining across now is
Zeno.
just, you know,
When you're, you know,
Commercial
when you're
facilities.
flying
Nothing
out
guiding
of,
any of
when you're
these things.
flying
So,
out
yeah.
of Lagos, right? If you're flying out of Lagos and you look out the window, all right, you will not believe how much industries we have in Lagos.
we have a
Oh,
good fair
of
amount.
course.
Like once you go up like this and you just look out of the window, you see long
loads,
stretches
yeah,
of zinc, long
And
stretches
we're
of.
not
they
saying there's
do
anything
know.
wrong with that. We're just saying that
Yeah.
if for a reason you want to, you know,
Prorate power.
bring in new
yeah,
things.
Okay.
there should be a policy.
It
and
should
a
be
provision.
commensurate with
Exactly.
what
like,
is on
okay,
ground.
you know what?
Yeah.
You can't have this type of industry here.
Right.
Exactly.
Go to this location. You understand? This is strictly the amount of power
Or
that we
you
can
go
generate here.
independent in terms of generation.
And then if you have to go independent, there still needs to be a policy. Or you want to do solar, you want to do, wind type of power generation. There needs to be policies to guide all of these things.
I hear you.
I've always been
I
of
hear
the
you,
thought
Olamide.
that in every part of Nigeria, power generation should be in silos.
Yeah,
Okay,
provide
we
your
know
own.
we know we have 1 million people in this location, and these are the type of people they are. This is what we're going to generate
Alright, so
for them.
let's pause on that because I think it's beginning to sound like your view. Let's take a very quick break. When we get back, our main topic for today, let's talk about that instance that happened over the week that got everybody tongue wagging. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. And you're welcome back. Boundaries and extremes. Let's take a look at the Kunle Afolayan instance that might never go away. We scarred her daughter for life, is what most people say. But did we really? Or was it all by his hand? I was going to make a joke about that one, but...
It's not gonna
Let's
sink
not
in.
do it. Let's not do it.
Nah.
In any case, everybody saw the video. You saw the video.
Yes.
Kunle Afolayan had a session with his daughter where they, danced what could have been referred to as a very amorous, very father-daughterly type moment that, hey, it's quite reminiscent of that Luther Vandross song, Dance with My Father. It looks cute. It looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Except that it went on for quite a while. Eventually, I kind of got uncomfortable. I did not get uncomfortable because I had intrusive, crazy thoughts. It just seemed a bit, okay, nah, daddy is enough, kind of
That
thing.
is enough.
Until everybody else started talking about it and, writing in the comment section. And it became rather obvious that the majority of people were not with that kind of expression or activity that went on.
Yeah.
He danced very close with his daughter. However, he was wearing an agbada, a very short agbada, not to the conservative type. And his daughter was really enjoying
The danshiki.
yeah, that shiki type of agbada. And they had this moment together that seems to have gone viral because people thought it was a bit untoward
Well-
for a father to dance with a daughter that way. It's also raised a lot of other instances where I think, what's her name from the news channel, made a reference, and we're going to talk about that reference and maybe it comes to her defense on that one. However, what did you think about that moment?
Well, I try as much as possible not to talk about people's relationship, especially when it comes to family relationships and what have you, right?
Yeah.
And the reason why that is because you must understand that people's relationships are personal, all right? You don't know what is going on between father and daughter, all right? The way they play to you, all right, is totally different from the way they play with themselves,
Of course, yeah.
in private, all right? Kunle Afolayan is someone I don't know him personally, but I personally respect with every sense of it. I respect him in his work, in his career, in everything that he does. Now, there are different things that we can look at when it comes to that video. It's unfortunate because Nigerians are very, judgy people. They're people who are very quick to say one thing about...
Oh, we know.
Yes, they're very judgmental. I must say the truth. And I'll tell you why. This caused a very serious argument between myself and my wife. And I kept telling her, I said, let me tell you something.
with your wife about
Because she's my best friend. She's my best friend. We gist a lot. And we talk about issues, all right? And we have very different opinions about issues. And, of course, we learn from it as well.
Did you personally think...
I watched that video very well.
And?
Look, let me tell you something. You people might say, you might say that this person is inappropriate in the way that he was holding this person, or the way she touched that. Don't forget that these people work together. They were on the movie premiere
Which
that
people
day,
now?
which was the Anikulapo series premiere. This guy was excited, was happy. The daughter was happy as well that they had done something successfully.
Yeah.
All right, they could have just been dancing innocently.
Okay.
Now, another
okay,
thing you must also
yeah.
understand is that maybe they didn't even know that somebody was
Oh,
even
no, they were
Okay.
aware.
because
They were aware.
her brother was actually, her brother came to...
Doesn't it make it
to
even
say-
worse if
to
they didn't
tease
think that
them.
anybody was making a video? Doesn't
Okay.
it make it worse?
No, that's
but
what I'm
let
saying.
me just
It doesn't matter.
let me jump in here, and I'm going to reference this. I'm going to refer this to you, Olamide.
Yeah.
First off, it was a moment that was an expression between a father and a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
You say that, hey, there was nothing wrong with it. However, is there a thought to be given to where we are and whether this activity is safe for public consumption? Now, I'm not saying that if there was anything untoward going on that, you know, I'm not trying to excuse it.
Okay.
But I'm saying, okay, regarding how woke our society is or whether culture that we have,
Yes.
that, yeah, me and you relate like this, so we're father, daughter, and there's nothing happening. But the environment we're in, maybe we don't need to express ourselves.
Okay,
as
so
well.
I'm glad you
I'd
said
like
something.
you to say
I'm
something
glad,
on
I'm
this.
glad you said something.
Let
So
him
sorry,
say,
just
yeah.
before you say something, you said something. You talked about the fact that at the beginning when you were watching that stuff, you didn't think anything of
It
it.
was just a great moment because I have
Alright.
a daughter as well.
All right? And then when it took too long,
Yes.
you started to feel uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Why are you feeling uncomfortable?
Because, well, I noted that he's doing my job again. I noted that the environment would not be very forgiving for that kind of expression.
Okay,
Like,
so
oh,
for me,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
nothing
let's
to do with
hear you.
environment. I think I try to be as open as possible, but I'm not going to speak on standards. I'm not going to speak on expectations. I'm just going to go into the facts. I'm a father.
Exactly. I was going
I'm
to
a
say that I don't
father.
have a daughter. You guys
I'm
have
a
a daughter.
father.
Maybe
I have
you're
a daughter.
saying it from that
I
perspective.
have a
as well.
daughter, and when I first saw the video, I think I was amongst one of the last set of people to see the video. When people were talking about it, I was like, nah, it can't be that. Then I saw the video and I was like, okay, is that really his daughter? I was surprised, and reason being that Kule Afolayan, respectable, hardworking, very talented man. Yes, he had a moment of excitement, and the boats, they were having fun, basically, and I still see that part as having fun. But as a father, I feel that in the world, whether you're Westerner or you're an African, there are certain expressions that you don't put out publicly.
Yeah.
Publicly, and the three of us can pay witness to this. I don't think in my entire life I've heard my father or my mother say, "I love you."
No,
To you?
Yeah.
Yes, I don't think so. And if they have, that would have been maybe when I was very little.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
So you see,
That's
there are
the beautiful
certain-
part of that video, actually,
Yeah.
because I can tell that these two.
This is
do- yeah,
genuine.
this is a very genuine
You-
relationship.
Oh,
they have.
was there? Was
No,
there?
there was
no. I'm saying that
The
it was
expression
genuine.
was-
The expression was genuine.
right.
As a father,
But-
you'd see it.
But we can't take away the fact that at a particular point in time, the dancing got a bit too extra. It got a bit too extra. The holding, the fact that she was backing into him, the fact that he was going into, it
Into
got
a
a bit
pose.
extra. And it's a good thing that we're all from different tribes, you understand? And we all have different notions about, family and all of
Opinions,
that.
rather, yeah.
You see, I feel,
Okay.
as a father, you're a father. You can be friends with your child, but there are times whereby you're a father, especially publicly.
Yeah. Can I
Your
mention?
father.
Can I put this in?
Yeah. Let me
What-
just quickly.
okay.
Let me just quickly. I have a young daughter that recently she came to me and she said, "Oh, Dad, can I give you a peck?" And I'm like, no. And you know why I said that?
Why?
Not because I didn't appreciate it, and not because, I didn't think it was okay. I said no because I saw it that it was from an influence, maybe something she's been watching, something she's been seeing. She wanted to express herself. And you see, morally or no morals, you need to always set certain rules and boundaries.
I was going to
so
say that. I was going to ask what responsibility did the father have, especially when it comes to setting an example for his daughter in that kind of an
Exactly.
environment, as regards other men and their expressions toward
that's,
her
and that's
eventually.
what I was going to go towards, because I needed to set an example. That, okay, you know what? And you see, for everything, there comes a conversation. And I explained to her, this is why I don't want you to do this. And this is why I love you. But this is not the best way for you to express yourself. Because first
Real
things
quick,
first,
yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Catherine Obiang
Yeah.
on TV made a reference to the video, and then she told her own story. Very short. It was actually in passing, where she talked about hugging her father in the morning and noting an erection and saying to herself, okay, this is where play has to stop now.
Yeah.
You know Twitter and
Yeah,
social
they
media,
went
they took
after
it
it,
like
yeah.
this. Woo! they went this way. But we were having our conversation in
Yeah.
the morning.
Yes, we
and
were.
what was the submission you gave then?
I mean, it's simple. The average LD man out of 10 men, 9.5 wake up with an erection.
Do you wake up with You don't wake up with... this was not healthy. This was not
No,
healthy.
but my point is this. My point is this. I'm not saying that's the medical standards.
No, but you are correct.
But the
the
fact,
fact is that every healthy man has every 90 minutes an erection while sleeping. You actually do. And very often you will wake up with one if it's within that 90 minutes.
And the
That's
thing is this. If a child comes into
At that
a father
moment,
at that moment,
that
then
unfortunate
you
moment.
understand? And that's where the boundaries come in. That's how the boundaries come in. Like, for instance, in my home, before you come into my room, you knock and you wait for me to say, come in.
That's correct.
You see, you need to set those rules. And in that video, I realized that there are no boundaries. Because when I first saw the video, I was like, nah, Oga side chick with this. Because it was depicting
Why did you
something,
think that is psych chick, sir?
because it felt sensual.
Very sensual. Almost
Yes.
sexual.
So at the beginning, yes, they're having fun, but when they kept at it,
Yeah.
and all the pulling, all the, I'm
Sorry,
like,
okay, can I say something?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
So when I saw the video,
Yeah.
all right, I watched the video very closely, right? And the first thing I did was I went to the page of the girl to see the relationship between herself and her father. And I realized that this girl has been close with her dad for years.
I remember that we said it's a very beautiful, it was a very
Yes,
beautiful thing in the
I agree.
beginning, yeah?
I agree.
Yeah.
All right. So I realized that when I saw all of the things that she had done with her dad, they're like buddies. Like they literally, they hang out together, go beach partying together. They are together all the time.
She's her father's friend.
And then do you understand? And I
Yeah.
went back to that video and watched it again.
so
With that knowledge in my head that...
So it looked all right. I see what you did there.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
You did the litmus test first and then came
Do you
back to
understand
the
what I'm saying?
So-
and then I came back and realized that
it was an innocent moment.
just an innocent moment.
The problem is not the intentions here. We're saying
The
that
problem is in the view,
You view,
the
that's what
people,
we're
the
saying.
environment.
What it
no
look like.
one is
Culturally, is
accusing
it okay?
no one is accusing him and his daughter of doing anything. Let's clarify that. It's none of our business. We do not know this.
Yeah.
But what we're saying is what we saw.
Was it
A
appropriate?
video put out, it wasn't appropriate. And why is it not appropriate? Even the so-called Oyibo people that are freestyle or whatever,
Yeah.
they would not do stuff like that because they even have rules.
Yeah.
They have certain rules that protect their children from things like that. You understand? If you're getting too extra, you're
When
doing
did you
things.
stop kissing your daughter?
When did I stop kissing my daughter? Stopped many years ago.
How old
I
is she
think
now?
she's going to be 9.
So you
And
stopped
you
what?
stopped kissing.
I've stopped doing that.
Okay.
I've
I
stopped
still
doing
kiss
that.
my daughter on the cheek.
No, and you know what? So the last time I kissed my daughter was on the forehead. And, I have these conversations because children keep growing and they keep learning and keep pulling things and keep getting
But you do know that...
and all of that.
I mean, I anchor weddings, all right? And I see fathers kiss their grown-up daughter getting married. Like, they peck them, on the forehead, they peck them
Yeah,
on
well,
the cheek.
that's allowed.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So one thing you must understand
anybody gonna
is
stop
that
me on
But
that?
Jack, in your experience, you've been doing this. You've been doing this for many years. And if you want to be honest, have you ever seen a father
Dance with a daughter that way?
at a wedding that way?
Of course not.
Exactly.
Of course not. But I'm
Exactly.
just saying to you that it doesn't mean that the
Oh,
daughter,
in fact,
it's so
the
weird
daughter
that-
and
it's
the
so
dad
weird
have-
that
have
nobody-
not danced that way.
No.
Listen, guys,
You understand?
I have to read all the messages because we're almost out of time.
Yeah.
My
Please
apologies
do.
for breaking
Please
you
do.
guys. YGG here says, thank you very much for sending and using the hashtag the Black Table on TVC. Let me run through these before it's Saturday morning. YGG here says, the lady wants to get married without any family members. Not one single member of the family. No, now, co-work. That goes without saying. We all stand together on that one. Akshay says she should get a rechargeable fan because now she asked for about the lady and the generators. Yeah. Dollar says what sauce for the goose? Oh, what's good for the goose is what sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander. This is a new one. I'm sure this is from a Gen Z.
Very confusing.
Fefe says, Kule and Eyemi Afolayan's video was too raunchy, I beg. There's nothing you can tell me about that one. I actually couldn't finish watching the video, she says. Wussy 56. Let's flip the script and have a mother grinding on her son. It'll be a
Thank
different
you.
story.
Yeah.
Flip.
Yeah.
Your own mother grinding on you. How would that look?
That would be so weird.
That would be further up like disgusting,
Like,
actually.
yeah.
Like, you know.
So wait, I wanted to ask a question. Let's
Yeah.
leave the flip and let's take it that if Kunle Afolayan was not Kunle Afolayan, if it was just a regular random
It would
person,
still be inappropriate.
it would be that loud.
It would still
It would be that
yeah.
loud
You
because
think?
it would
Yeah.
be very
It
because in fact people argue and say no, that's not his daughter. That can't be his daughter because it's got to a stage whereby. So I was saying it was innocent then. The pulling back,
You know-
backing into him.
you know-
I'm like,
You know,
wait,
a very interesting
this love
story came to me
it's getting too much. Bro.
from off of Twitter
Yeah.
3 weeks ago. I actually wanted us to talk about it here on the show, but it escaped my mind, and this is bringing it back. Things actually do happen in our vicinity that we are not privy to when it comes to
Exactly.
immoralities in between father and daughter relationships.
And these things
they
happen.
they happen. They are
happen.
often very common. There was a story of a young woman who told about the fact that she had slept with her father up until she was, I think, 22 or so, which was only the previous year. And she said this had started from when her father had come home drunk one time and proceeded to come into her room, unknowing to him or whatever the state he was in, and
started and he hasn't
she
stopped.
let him. She also went on to tell that she enjoyed these
Woo.
moments.
Right. God, that is so sad.
Yes. So these things actually do happen. So you
Wow.
can understand people's concern when you see these kinds of videos and
Yeah.
like, could this also be one of those instances?
Especially, okay, so one of my colleagues, Zainab, she's one of the producers of the show, was talking to me about a particular incident between cousins, where a cousin raped another cousin. And that's because
These
these
boundaries
things
weren't
happen.
set.
The boundaries were
you know,
set.
I've heard
Yeah.
about this
And it's
cousin and
extreme.
cousin thing.
Yeah.
You know, some people actually think that cousin and cousin is not the same. That's what some people think. In fact, we had a full-blown argument on this matter. That this cousin and cousins, you are brothers and sisters.
Guys, I'm so sorry.
Come on.
We are out of time, and it seems like this topic we should have started from way before because it's branching out into so many other topics. Real quick, the video is highly inappropriate. She's no longer a baby, for heaven's sake. And there's nothing wrong with the dance. I beg you guys are hypocrites. Because I can remember y'all dragging the lady at Omale's concert. That is a different... What?
Is it the same thing?
Come on.
That's what I'm saying.
In any case, please, just real quick. I don't know if it's appropriate to talk about just the tip now because it's simply for us. But can you give us the tip real quick so we could end the show?
Okay, it's just going to be quick. I think as a father, you should set center principles and examples because you're not doing this just for your family, you're doing it for other people. It's that simple.
A tip and a quickie, all in one place. Nice. Thank you very much. Deck, it's been a pleasure having you on.
Thank you so much for having me
gang,
once
wherever
again.
you are, thanks for not showing. Well, actually, we did miss you, so please make sure that you get in here next week. And thank you to everybody who's been here since 11 o'clock. And of course, we'll have another edition, hopefully with a full gang. See what I did there? Next week. So tune in then. Until then, it's good night for us, or is it good morning?